General Thaxmore adjusted his ceremonial battle armor as he gazed upon the primitive blue world through the viewport of his flagship. The third planet from this unremarkable yellow star had somehow managed to unite against the Zephyrian Empire's expansion, forming what they laughingly called the United Earth Defense Force. The very name was an insult to proper military doctrine. "Admiral," his communications officer announced, mandibles clicking with barely contained amusement, "the human delegation requests to speak with you before we commence orbital bombardment." Thaxmore's four eyes narrowed in what passed for a smile among his species. "Patch them through. Let us hear what these soft creatures have to say before we crush them." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a human female in a crisp military uniform. Her species' single pair of eyes met his gaze with what he assumed was their attempt at intimidation. How quaint. "General Thaxmore," the human began, her voice steady despite facing a fleet of 2,000 vessels. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the UEDF. I'm here to offer you one final chance to withdraw from our system peacefully." The bridge erupted in harsh laughter from his crew. Thaxmore allowed himself a moment of genuine mirth before responding. "Admiral Chen, you stand before the might of the Zephyrian Empire with fewer than 300 ships. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Your people are weak, having known only brief conflicts among yourselves. What could you possibly offer that would interest us?" Admiral Chen's expression remained impassive. "We offer you the chance to leave with your lives." The laughter grew louder. Thaxmore gestured dismissively. "Your species fascinates me, human. In all our conquests across 17 systems, we have never encountered such delusion. Tell me, what makes you believe your pathetic fleet could challenge vessels that have reduced entire civilizations to ash?" "Because," Chen replied quietly, "you've never fought humans before." "Humans?" Thaxmore spat, his voice dripping with contempt. "We have studied your history, Admiral. Your longest war lasted a mere 6 of your years. You have never faced a truly superior enemy. You know nothing of real warfare, only the petty squabbles of children playing with primitive weapons." Chen nodded slowly. "You're right about one thing, General. We've never faced an enemy like you." She paused, and for the first time, something resembling a smile crossed her features. "But you've never faced an enemy like us either." "Your bravado is admirable but meaningless," Thaxmore declared. "We have conquered species with technology far superior to yours. The Vorthak had shields that could withstand supernovas. The Kelthani possessed weapons that could crack moons. All fell before Zephyrian might. What could humans possibly possess that they did not?" "Spite," Chen answered simply. The word hung in the air like a discordant note. Thaxmore felt a strange chill run down his spine, though he dismissed it immediately. "Spite? That is your secret weapon?" "You studied our wars, General, but you didn't understand them," Chen continued, her voice growing harder. "You saw 6 years of global conflict and thought it brief. But those 6 years killed over 70 million of us. You saw our regional conflicts and called them squabbles. But we've been fighting each other for 10,000 years, learning, adapting, perfecting the art of killing." Thaxmore's amusement began to waver. There was something in the human's tone that he found unsettling. "You want to know what makes humans different?" Chen asked, leaning forward. "Every species you've conquered fought for territory, resources, or survival. We fight for fun. We've turned warfare into entertainment. We create scenarios where we imagine fighting beings exactly like you, and we plan for it obsessively." "Impossible," Thaxmore snorted, though his voice lacked its earlier confidence. "No species could be so violent and still achieve space travel." "Can't they?" Chen's smile grew colder. "You know what we call the period of peace after our last global war? The Cold War. 45 years of not shooting each other while building. Enough nuclear weapons to render our planet uninhabitable 50 times over. For fun." The bridge had grown quiet. Even Thaxmore's most veteran warriors seemed transfixed by the human's words. "But here's what you really don't understand about humans," Chen continued, her voice now barely above a whisper. "Every species you've conquered wanted to live. They fought for survival, for their children, for their future. They had something to lose. And humans do not? Thaxmore found himself asking, though he dreaded the answer. General, Chen said, and her smile was now genuinely terrifying. We've been looking for someone like you our entire existence. We've dreamed of you. We've prepared for you. And we've been waiting so very, very long for a proper fight. Sadigasa transmission cut off abruptly. Thaxmore stood in the sudden silence, feeling something he hadn't experienced in decades of conquest. Uncertainty. Around him, his bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. Sir, his tactical officer reported, voice trembling slightly. The human fleet is moving into attack formation. Impossible, Thaxmore muttered. They must know it's suicide. Sir, the communications officer interrupted. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's being broadcast on all frequencies to every ship in our fleet. What is it? It appears to be music, sir, and something else. The humans are laughing. General Thaxmore felt his primary heart skip a beat as the sound echoed through his ship, the sound of an entire species that had just found exactly what it had been looking for. The last entry in his personal log, discovered floating in space, 3 days later consisted of only 5 words. We should have left immediately. The Battle of Sol lasted 18 hours. When it ended, Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the UEDF flagship, watching the last Zephyrian escape pods flee toward the edge of the system. Her communications officer looked up from his console. Admiral, we're receiving surrender requests from 17 Zephyrian-controlled systems. They're offering to join the Earth Defense Coalition. Chen nodded, her expression thoughtful. Send word to Earth Command. Tell them to prepare the integration protocols. She paused, watching the distant stars. And tell them to start expanding the recruitment programs. I have a feeling word about today is going to spread. The officer saluted. Yes, ma'am. What should I tell them about General Thaxmore? Admiral Chen's smile returned, cold and satisfied. Tell them he learned what happens when you call humans weak. She turned toward the viewport, where the wreckage of the once mighty Zephyrian fleet drifted silently among the stars. The universe just got a lot more interesting.